One.
Coming to you live from deep within a mosquito-ridden, swampy wasteland.
One.
Wasteland. We are the survivors of the alt-right kickpocalypse. The few, the brave, the bitchy, once more wading into battle against the froggy lobster zombie hordes with Rant Zerker number 161. Looking at the Amber Heard footage that NBC wanted the internet to forget. Not NB, Brian, NBC.
Oh, I did update the spelling. I don't know why you're looking.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I changed the spelling. I don't know how that happened. I guess I pushed a button, it didn't go through, but on the regular YouTubes and everywhere, it should be correct. So don't judge me.
I will correct it on here.
Yeah, and so we are joined by Dr. Randamercam, Karen, Allison, and me. Yeah, it's probably really late where you are, right?
Not for me. I don't have a proper job, so this is fine.
Oh, and just a little update. Apparently, the ACLU has successfully sued Johnny Depp to pay for the costs of delivering the documents regarding them and their defamatory op-ed that they wrote with Amber Heard. They asked for $86,000. I believe they got 36 or 38,000. So he has to pay them 36,000 to deliver up the.
Which, if it was anyone else, would be a kick in the pants. But it's Johnny Depp. He recently won something like 12 million.
Yeah,
I know.
Why he doesn't just say take it out of Amber Heard's piggy bank, for fuck's sake?
Yeah, but that was reduced because punitive damages are limited by law in Virginia. So, and the punitive damages were the larger part of the judgment, and the damages judgment, right? And so she's not going to have to pay. She gets away with paying less than half of what the jury gave Depp.
Well, okay, but this is separate, and it's also sort of a kick in the pants because why should he have to pay this at all? They had to deliver up these documents in the course of a legal proceeding. They were subpoenaed. Apparently, New York allows this to happen, but it's just like this. Do you think this looks good on you, ACLU, and to continue to have Amber Heard as your ambassador for women or whatever it is?
Yeah, no, the whole thing is really annoying, right? Because, okay, you remember during the Honey Badger trial, right? They
Yes, I remember distinctly.
Sent me a notice to appear, and they were gonna make me have to go to Calgary and be available for 3 full days on a moment's notice, sitting in the courthouse, right, waiting to be called. And they were going to pay me $150, and I was like, no, actually, I'm entitled to several $1,000s, right? Because you're forcing me to come down here and testify. And then they said, well, okay, we don't want you to do it. We don't need you anymore, right? And, but, effectively, yes, if you have to actually if you're not a named party in the suit and you have to spend money to produce something or to do something, yes, you can apply to be compensated for the time and effort and monetary outlay of producing that stuff. But $36,000, really? $36,000.
Well, they asked for 86,000.
Yeah, but to produce documents.
And Amber Heard is supposed to owe them like $3.5 million. Why aren't they suing her for that money that she donated to them?
She didn't. Oh,
well, she pledged. She pledged.
She
guys.
pledged.
Okay.
She pledged.
I think you'll find.
She pledged. It's coming.
Pledged.
It's in the mail. Check is in the mail. It's
every
been
once in a while, just to get
it's been lemon pledged
to shut the fuck up and let me hang the phone up. I will say, okay, send me the paperwork and I'll pledge $10, right? And then they send me a bunch of freaking stuff, probably more than $10 worth of like follow-up letters saying, "Where's your $10?" And I'm like, why are you so desperate for my $10? Like, just come to my door and ask me for a 20 spot, okay? And get, like, you don't have to waterboard me for this fucking money, right? Work your way down. Can we count on you for $1,000? Oh, how about eight? Like, no, money's really tight. Oh, how about 850? And it's like, no, like, you don't understand me. Money's really tight. Oh, how about like 700? It's like, no, Jesus, fuck. Yeah, and then I'm like, I'll give you $10, and they're like, okay, we'll send you the stuff so you can send it in, and then I'm like, I can't be bothered because it's just $10 right? Just come around and pick up my goddamn bottles. Rent a truck, pick up my goddamn cans and bottles, take them to the depot. You can have all the money. How about that?
ACLU is a grift.
Okay, so I'm going to remind everyone that if you want to send something to us that we can read out on air and answer your questions, and we get Honey Badger Radio gets the full benefit of the actual
if you're willing to come to my house and pick up all my cans and bottles, I will donate half the proceeds to Honey Badger Radio.
There you go. How's that for a deal? So if you want something
take them in yourself, so I don't have to do it. Okay, because there's a year and a half of that shit stored up, and it ain't pretty.
Right, and if you want a more convenient option, you can go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip, and we will be monitoring our Discord channel for any messages thus sent. So once again, that's feedthebadger.com/justthetip, and I think we actually got. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh yeah, and actually, happy Un-Canada Day for everyone.
Yeah, no, it was amazing because like they did a poll of Americans, in advance of July 4th. And they were asking, are you proud of America? And more Republicans than Democrats or independents said no. And I can definitely see why. Because if I were asked if I'm proud of Canada, like if they asked am I proud of Canada's history? Am I proud of the idea of Canada? Am I proud of, or do I love my country and my fellow citizens? Right? Something like that, right? I could say yes. But if they asked me, are you proud of your country as it is right now? I would have to be like, there's not a synonym for no that adequately expresses my opinion on that.
There really needs to be a qualifier between, are you proud of the way your state and your state government
is running your country,
and your civilization and your people, because almost everyone except insane oikophobic communists would say, yes, I'm extremely proud of these people because my family are among these people and my friends and my ancestry. And almost everybody, apart from bootlickers who for some reason love their government, would say, no, my government sucks and it needs to be reduced to a burning ember at this point because they're a bunch of lying cocksuckers.
That's hate. I just learned. I read in an article today that there are
if you don't love your government, you're undemocratic.
If you don't love your government, you are full of hate. If you have any criticism of it, it's come to that point. Somehow they moved through anti-Semitism, racism, transphobia, homophobia, etc., and they bridged all of those concepts into one simple axiom: if you dislike your government, you are hateful.
What I love about Canada, right, is that like people are generally polite. People are generally gregarious, right? They're friendly. Like you go to your local grocery store and you can joke around with the cashier, and they, like my son used to, when he was 15, he used to stand there and read the cover pages of the women's magazines, and he'd be like, I'm like trying to like pay for the groceries, and he's like, "Hey, Mom," really loud, "Mom, 6 ways to drive him wild in bed." "Oh, Mom, three easy tips that will spice up your sex life," right? And everybody behind us in the line and the cashier would be just fucking dying, right? Because he's this gorky, chubby kid, right? Who's super awkward, and he's just reading it totally deadpan, straight face, out loud, prefacing every comment with "Mom," and he's just reading something that's out there for public consumption, right? Out there in the open, right? So they can't even get mad at him. And I'm just like, I got my head in my hands, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, right? And everybody is just laughing. And you can be a community. You can be like, you can get along with your neighbors. It's just like, it's super easy to get along with the people in your community, to have bonds with the people in your community and your family and your ancestors and all of those things. And there's a tradition that came out of the origins of your country that formed how you make those relationships and how you deal with each other. That's all going down the shitter. And it's not because of some super popular grassroots movement, because that movement is not popular. It's only popular among the elites and the establishment and corporations, the C-suite. So,
all right, this is very true. Now, speaking of
all right,
systematic hatred, let's look at.
I think you mean systemic hatred.
Systemic. I like systematic because it's got matic in it, and matic is a cool word.
Well,
all right, Brian, are you?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready. All right, so
what are you
I guess
Mike? You guys
it's like it's not a word; it's a suffix. Matter.
Yeah, it's like for hydromatic, instant hydrogenator.
Nanomatic.
Or
slice-o-matic.
Yeah. Salad
Slice-o-matic. All right, yes. Okay, Brian.
Lightning.
Yeah, I'm not.
Continue yelling out weird things.
I don't expect that we're gonna get very far. Okay, so let's start with.
Where's the link?
Oh yeah. Let me share my browser. Hold up. Please.
There's no link.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Join the browser so you can watch the video. Let me know when you're all in.
I'm in.
Alison, are you in?
Yes, I'm in. I was in Mike. As soon as the thing came up.
Go on, ask me if I'm in.
Yeah, I think I heard.
Yeah, you're in.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit play now. They should have a thing in Discord that tells you who's watching and who's not. All right,
I can see everybody.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh.
It's been about more than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in? How could it? It's surreal and difficult. In part, yes. This has been a long time coming. Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse? Of course, to my
All right, I'm just pausing it there for the banana. I don't know what they're going to say about this. Let me play the next 30 seconds, and then you guys can respond.
Well, all I could see for most of that was something that said pause. Now it says play.
Can you not
did
hear
you hear
anything?
It though,
I heard it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why you can't see.
Hear.
So.
Yeah, it just does that periodically, Karen. It's a Discord thing. Discord doesn't want to work very often.
Yeah,
it's sort of like a Twitterati and a Twitter employee.
Make me download a lot of updates. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of updates for something that still doesn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been surreal for Amber Heard. I can imagine
very
being held accountable for something. Like if you watch that trial, I know not a lot of people on this panel did. maybe I'm being presumptuous, but the only time where she actually looked at all downtrodden and sad is when they had when they declared the verdict. And then she looked very not happy, shall we say. She actually looked looked pouty. She looked like a child who had her toy taken away. Which is not surprising since it's exactly what happened.
I didn't watch much of the trial. I just watched some certain highlights, but yeah, it's I'm just like this interview. This is like Jussie Smollett 2.0.
There's been a lot of those. There's been a lot of those in the last few years.
Except for at least Jussie Smollett was a good enough actor to conjure up a few tears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there were salty tracks going down his cheeks.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but
she just made the Uggo face.
Jussie Smollett had the good sense to blow into the tissue instead of sniff into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna let me play 30 seconds more, and then we'll hear her answer about whether or not she stands by her allegations. Okay, about sexual abuse.
Dying day will stand by every word of my testimony.
The real-life drama of the defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think.
All right.
This is absolutely false.
Oh yeah,
go ahead,
course.
Brian.
No, I'm just summarizing what she said. So she says she stands by every word of her testimony till her dying day, and that this trial was, mostly, if not completely, all done on social media.
Well, no. But the court of public opinion matters.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like.
Yeah, but not for the trial. Like the thing is that the jurors were instructed not to observe. One juror actually went out and said that they actually took pains not to look at social media.
Yeah, one juror took pains to not look at social media.
And said they all did. So it's
okay. But what I'm saying is, can I take that to the bank? No, but. Okay, but does that mean that they were biased by the social media content?
It depends.
When you see something that a Facebook friend posts up and, on the subject, and, like you're going to at least see the headline or the meme or whatever, right? But, the idea that the media bias and the social media bias was completely one-sided in favor of Johnny Depp is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, here's the other thing: that the court of public opinion made its judgment based on the evidence that was being publicized in the trial.
Yeah.
So the idea that the jury was influenced by the same people who were watching the evidence as they were watching it. No. I mean, even if you say that you can't trust the jury members when they said they tried to avoid social media and
I'm sure they tried.
They didn't discuss it during their deliberations. But why would they? They were looking at the evidence, just like the court of public opinion was looking at the evidence. And in fact, this actually plays to the favor of Johnny Depp because Amber alleges that in the trial, evidence was left out. Well, people outside of the trial would have had access to all the evidence that she says was left out.
Yeah.
Because they were looking through everything, including the stuff that didn't meet the evidentiary standard of the trial. And they still came to the same conclusion as the jury.
Yeah.
So this doesn't go anywhere. This statement doesn't go anywhere. It's not. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, right. No, and it's not because Johnny Depp is super super beloved with a bunch of diehard super fans, right? Because we all know that, you know, people will drop someone like a freaking hot potato if there's a credible allegation.
Many people did.
Yeah, made against them. And so it's like you're looking at
Even
it.
an uncredible one, let's be frank.
Yeah. But, you know, you're looking at a situation where her story just never added up. And even the evidence that she claimed she had that she couldn't get into the trial was not enough to convince the court of public opinion. And what was allowed in the trial from both of them, and they were both had evidence restricted or excluded. You know, like they both had evidence excluded, not let in. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm talking to this some feminist woman on my channel, right? And she's just like, you know, Amber Heard was abused as a child, and I'm like, so was fucking Johnny Depp. But you know what he didn't ever do, right? He didn't ever fucking hit her.
Yep. All right, come on, Brian.
Well,
take this
all right.
moment. Put
All
some
right,
more in.
I'm gonna seize the day.
That this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
People online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, "Burn the witch," "Death to Amber." After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed.
Oh, looks like Discord.
You're back.
Okay.
What? Okay, where did it? Look, I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
Brian,
It's not my
Brian,
fault.
don't. Brian, it's okay. Brian, it stopped at every day
The
I passed
six blocks.
Yeah,
we
I'll go
only
back.
lost you for like 7 seconds. Or something.
Yeah, so
All right.
every day I pass 6 blocks. So we just
All
go
right,
to
let me
there and we
just
start
share
up
the
again.
thing. Somebody
Yeah.
who, if you work at Discord, I demand you explain what the fuck is going on. Or if you like programmed OBS, because something is wrong and I don't know what it is. I'm doing everything correct.
Yeah.
3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, "Burn the witch," "Death to Amber." After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand. And
No. Evidence. Okay. Citation, please, Amber
Yeah.
Heard.
What we saw there
Please.
was "We love you, Johnny." They
Yeah,
don't give a
please.
shit about you, Amber. They just love Johnny.
Well, you know, a lot of
Receipts.
Depp supporters are sort of watching her behavior and reporting on it, admittedly, but I never saw any signs or burn the witch. I think that she's mixing up that with the text that Johnny Depp sent.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, this is literally that she's mixing up reality. Johnny Depp sent a text to one of his friends, probably venting about this woman who caused him to go to the hospital. And in it, he referenced the Monty Python skit, you know, the witch.
Oh, yeah.
And she also said, "Well, we'll burn her, and I will rape her burnt corpse to see if she's still alive." I mean, it's really crude stuff. Actually, to be honest, when I first read that, I fucking laughed.
Well,
I thought it was hilarious.
Well,
But it's because it's shocking, you know.
It's as shocking and retarded as throw her in the water, and if she drowns, she's not a witch, and if she doesn't drown, she is a witch, so we burn her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's just freaking hilarious. And it's funny because it's shocking. It's like and I wonder about the people who don't find it funny, because funny things are funny because they're surprising, right? If you don't find that surprising, is this like the track of your regular day existence? Like,
Remember, it was a private conversation. This wasn't him tweeting out. This wasn't him talking in public. If he would have the good sense not to talk in that kind of language if he knew
Oh,
the general
yeah.
public was going to interpret it. That's the way good friends talk to each other in private. They're going to do those kinds of really dark interpretations of the events.
If you knew the kind of shit that I say to my husband, right, and then also to his mother about him, right, and she's just like, "Oh my God, you're right," I probably wouldn't blame you if you smothered him with a pillow. It's because it's just like, you say shit to vent.
Yeah, well, actually, just before we continue, somebody sent a message. John Chalkley said his Burn the Witch text was sent in 2013 to Paul Bettany. I don't think there was any anger behind it at the moment. So that essentially was just black humor based on a Monty Python sketch, which means it is totally irrelevant.
Well, but hey, he totally was gonna burn her alive and then rape her
or have sex with her
smoldering remains. Well, okay, where's the consent, Allison?
Okay, yeah, you're right. Smoldering remains can't give legitimate consent. This is true.
Yeah. Nor can they give informed consent.
Nope, they can give no consent.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit play again.
Saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity.
Oh,
really?
My God.
Facing Jack Sparrow fans, not being raped by Grand Marnier bottle, but facing.
I'm sure Joe Biden felt the same way when he couldn't get 4 people into a field while Trump was filling out entire stadiums at 2 days' notice. This is proof that the general public likes one person, and the only people who like you are snot-nosed elites in fucking the mass media.
I just want to say, like, every time that I have ever experienced a detachment from my humanity, it's when I've acted out violently. And when I say violently, right, I mean, like, I threw an empty plastic water bottle, at my husband because he really pissed me off, right? Or I started going around slamming cupboards and yelling because I was really frustrated, right, with one of my kids, or when I got into a confrontation with my older son, and we were like nose to nose, and Mike, my husband, had to come and like kind of make sure that something didn't happen, right? Like, those are the moments when I don't feel quite human. Those are the moments.
Not the lizard brain moments?
Yeah, not the ones where I'm being like when I'm suffering, or when I'm being victimized, or when I'm being persecuted, or when I'm, being harassed, or when I'm upset and crying, when somebody I love dies. All of those moments are deeply humanizing moments, right? But those moments when I act out in an antisocial way, right? And I do, and I think lots of people do, right? Have their moments where they act out briefly in antisocial ways on occasion. And that's when you become untethered from your humanity. That's when you feel dehumanized, and it's you that's doing it.
Yeah. All right.
So, like, I can't relate to what she's saying.
Yeah. No, this is just more victimhood stuff.
Just take your moments, Brian.
All right.
I felt less than human
let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
That's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that.
God, why they gave her that length of time just to emote is insane.
It's not even good emoting. This is the director's cut too.
Yeah.
No, this is not the director's cut, Karen. This is the stuff.
Oh,
that they
right.
left on
Never
the
mind.
floor.
All right.
But they were giving her plenty of space to actually try to hit those emotional beats, and all of the ones that she actually almost hit or got close to hitting ended up in the final product. But this was they cut this out because I guess it was a little too ridiculous. But go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say, if you notice, let me play this
I
again.
wish I could
really
say
quick.
yes.
You see, and I watched some like body language and like facial what do you call it, like, you know, people who read expressions, and he stopped it here, and he was talking about how one side of her mouth is curled up. I don't know if you could see that, but the
like
left
Billy
side
Idol.
is, yeah, it's like Billy Idol. It's like asymmetrically curled up, and he said that this is like a it's a involuntary you know, expression or movement that is supposed to represent disgust. So there's something about what she's saying or what she thinks about what she's being asked about that disgusts her. So look, if you don't like subscribe to the body language stuff, I get it. I'm not using this to make an argument, like, you know, that's definitive. I'm just saying, like, these little like micro expressions, I think they call them, they can be very useful to figure out if somebody is, you know, bullshitting you, or if they're like, they have a feeling about something but they're telling you the opposite, you know, or something.
She sneers. She sneers constantly.
She sneers a lot. Right.
Yeah, a lot of these body language experts are full of shit, but there are certain things that are sort of obvious to even the most uneducated person with the basic ability to recognize emotions. We all have this hardwired ability to recognize emotions as expressed through facial expression, and everyone knows when the bottom lip quivers symmetrically, that's someone crying, and when the upper lip is pulled up to one side, like try doing it with your own face right now. See what kind of emotion sort of develops, albeit theatrically, in your brain while you do that. Just pull your lip up to one side. Oh yeah, that's what I do when I'm disgusted.
But if you look at it, her forehead is perfectly smooth, right? And there's nothing in between her brows or above her brows, no crunch lines, right? She doesn't pardon me. She doesn't look upset.
Right.
She looks totally composed.
Yeah, from like the eyes up.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Allergies?
Fucking ragweed. God damn city.
She's having issues with ragweed.
I'm going to take advantage of this.
To that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Do you find that Mr.
All right, I'm just pausing it there for the banana.
And more
what does she mean by fair representation? Does she mean that she means that there are two positions and there's an equal number of people and they're both sharing the same, you know, like one side is on Johnny Depp's side, the other side is on Amber Heard's side, and it's like it's balanced and it's fair. I mean, that's what I think she thinks, even though, like, well, look, if it looks like you're full of shit and he's not, that's reality. Like, that is about as fair as you could expect, because this isn't about equal, you know, like equal accountability. This is just about someone's accountable We're going to figure out who it is, you know?
And any trial is about credibility, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a major, major part of any trial. And every fucking single time I have seen a trial go sideways for a female complainant, right? Like, so the case of Alexander Wagar here in Alberta, Gian Gomeshi, right? All of these female complainants whose stories fell apart on the stand. They were disproven by evidence, right? And corroborated